And I've felt for a long time that like I'm on the verge of, kind of like making it. Like I've been.
The first time I watched this and he said he's on the verge, I was like, oh no, oh geez. Is this about to get really, really dark?
What would I work on if you didn't always have that gnawing feeling of like I should be working on my video? What?
Yeah, well, you know what most people have the nine feeling is, wow, I hate being here 40 plus hours a week, every single week. So I don't have any sympathy that you have a nine feeling that you should be working on a video. And if that's such a problem, sounds like maybe that feeling was just correct. So he's got a cabinet of video games he's trying to get through by the end of the year. So unironically, he's sitting around watching movies and playing video games. Completely ridiculous. Let's check out his resume. See what that looks like. Served as an on-site caretaker for an elderly man with severe autism, cooked his meals, provided enrichment activities and entertainment, washed his clothes, assisted with bathing and hygiene, and served as a liaison between Crochet Mountain and his legal guardians. Okay, so he was like doing assisted living stuff, changing diapers. All right. I don't know if that's gonna, if he's looking for the type of job that would help with, but in typical Breadtuber fashion, this YouTuber who goes by Innuendo Studios has decided that he will beg and plead for his fans to pay his bills rather than providing value, doing work, that sort of thing. And sure, a little bit hyperbolic, but if you take a look at his channel, he's done one, two, three, four, five, six videos in the last year, and that's including this video where he's begging for money. Year before that, he did one, two, three, four, five, six videos. Year before that, one, two videos. Year before that, one, two, again, two videos. The year before that, he went crazy though. He did one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I mean, the man was absolutely grinding that year. 5 years ago, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, seven. Okay. So I mean, really, he was working hard those 2 years there. Um, and rather than making more videos than the five, six videos, if you count the begging video, he's decided that he's going to ask his fans to bail him out via a GoFundMe. But before I show you that, just want to give you a little bit of context about who this guy is, because in a video that he did years and years ago, he kind of reveals some things that he knows about running these sorts of schemes on GoFundMe, crowdfunding, that sort of stuff. It's pretty revealing.
Video. So let's talk about what crowdfunding really means to people. If you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Ian. I make video essays on YouTube about games and web culture. If you've ever heard of me, it's probably for this video I made about internet fame. Many months after making that video, I ran a successful Kickstarter to make more, and for most of 2015, I've been doing that. I made one about the competitive Super Smash Bros. Scene, and about game theory, and what it means to be a spectator. I have an ongoing series about the evolution of the adventure game, and
At the time that that came out, the Smash Bros. Video, I saw that. I didn't realize that it was this guy that made it until I saw this video where he mentions that he did that. But well, that was a pretty solid video at the time. I enjoyed it.
and I put out this 6-part series about the harassment of women in video games. As of the making of this video, I'm wrapping the last few videos promised by the Kickstarter, and so now it's time to lay the groundwork for my channel's future. Also, off and on for the last few years, I have freelanced as a crowdfunding consultant. More details about that.
There, a crowdfunding consultant. You guys think, well, he's pretty good at doing this crowdfunding stuff, so much so that he can advise other people on how to crowdfund their projects or lack of projects.
That in the other video. Since becoming a video essayist, I haven't really had time to advise people. So I'm putting a bunch of what I've learned online so that anyone who wants to can make use of it. So let's talk about crowdfunding. The traditional way that content gets produced is you have a thing you want to make, and you approach some corporate entity and say, I want to make this thing, can you give me money? And they try to determine whether they can make.
Or, I don't want to make anything. Can you guys give me money?
money off your thing, and if they think so, they pay you money to make the thing in exchange for partial or complete ownership of it. Once the thing is made, they try to market it to whomever they think will buy it. The thing about marketing is it's generally less about finding the right people and making sure they have the right relationship to the thing, and more about just opening as many wallets as possible. And consumers know this. They may sincerely want the thing, but they are fully aware that the people selling it to them have every reason to bullshit them. This makes everyone with an ounce of intelligence rightfully skeptical of advertising. So everybody puts on their bullshit
Well, if that's the case, I'm worried about the intelligence of Innuendo Studios viewers.
filters and tries to make educated guesses. Intelligence rightfully skeptical of advertising. So everybody puts on their bullshit filters and tries to make educated guesses about
Yeah, and these people have no BS filters. No BS filters whatsoever.
where and how.
I mean, when you see the numbers on this GoFundMe that he started for doing absolutely nothing, it's absurd. It's completely absurd how much money this guy made just from begging and not doing work.
How to spend their money. The corporate entity then collects that money, and if you still own any rights to the thing you made, they share some of that money with you. So since the beginning, one of the biggest draws of crowdfunding is that feeling consumers get that instead of interacting with a bunch of capitalist machinery, they're interacting with an actual human being. Don't get me wrong, the capitalist machinery is still there in the form of Kickstarter, GoFundMe, Indiegogo, or Patreon. But outside of setting some rules about what can and can't be sold on their sites, they don't exert much control. They don't have any ownership, they have no creative control, they don't do your advertising, they just build the platform and take a cut of the money. And that's a big part of why people like them. They like the feeling that maybe nobody's bullshitting them. I want to stress this because it's crucial. The average
Maybe, but definitely not always. Not with this Ian character.
crowdfunding campaign lives or dies on the perception of sincerity. Why
And that part right there, very, very key to what this guy's doing. Just as a little teaser, show you the very beginning of this guy's video here.
Hey everyone.
This is the same guy. I know he looks pretty different, but just classic YouTuber Sai trying to come across as so sad and downtrodden and just beaten down by life. Hey guys, this is sincere. I really need your help. I'm really in a rough spot, and I'm being sincere with you. That's why I started my edited video off with a sigh.
Why does anyone see a book they could get for $15 and choose to spend $30 on it? What is it they're buying? One time with a book I backed on Kickstarter, as the deadline approached, we were fully funded, we'd hit a couple of stretch goals, everything was hunky-dory, and yet without any coordination between us, in the last few days, we all started pushing for the next stretch goal. People were upping their pledges, and they were blasting the campaign on Twitter and Facebook, and we managed to hit the goal before the campaign ended. That stretch goal was a wraparound cover. I promise you that's not what we were invested in. We saw a thing that we cared about, and a number, and a deadline, and we all simultaneously thought, we can do this. What people are buying is the privilege to be part of your story. We go on crowdfunding sites and tell our
And that's also seems to be pretty key to this GoFundMe that he did, because you'll see a lot of people in the comments saying, oh, this guy, he's so important. He's part of my political journey. He's part of my YouTuber journeys. There are a lot of big YouTubers that were commenting under his video, being very, very supportive. They want to be a part of keeping Innuendo Studios live. Keep it going. Oh, yeah, if it wasn't for me, Innuendo Studios might not be around. They might not be putting out videos anymore.
people are buying is the privilege to be part of your story. We go on crowdfunding sites and tell our stories about what we want to make and why they matter to us. People get that investment when the story is good and when they trust the person telling it. And that's what I mean about campaigns living or dying on the perception of sincerity. People have to believe the story you're telling them is true. Now, there are ways to present the appearance of sincerity without actually being sincere.
And that's probably good enough from this. I think you get the idea there. People, you need to be give the perception of sincerity, and people want to feel a part of a story.
Hey everyone, Ian from Innuendo Studios here. Here to let you.
And I mean, look at that. He already cut.
Hey everyone, Ian from Innuendo Studios here.
How did that need to be in there? Basically, that whole clip was just him sighing and sadly saying, "Hello, I'm Ian." Just absurd. It's an edited video.
Everyone, Ian from Innuendo Studios here. Here to let you know that for the time being, Innuendo Studios is taking a break. I'm not sure for how long.
Oh, starting now you're taking a break, really? So if I look at your channel, your last video was 3 months ago. Seems like you've been taking a break, man.
And there's a chance it might be permanent. Well, you've seen the title of the video, so that is not hyperbole.
The title of the video is Being a YouTuber Bankrupted Me.
It's not strictly speaking true. Like bankruptcy is only one of several options right now, but it is a very real and likely possibility.
Not anymore. Not anymore. He's been completely bailed out with this sob story.
Yeah, I've been saying that doing this job is making ends meet for a while, and it has in the sense that most months I end with my bank account at least nominally in the positive. Not all, but most. But if making ends meet,
See, most months he has a positive balance in his bank account. Would those maybe be the months that you put out a video? Is there any correlation there between those events?
not all, but most. But if making ends meet is supposed to entail things like being able to settle up your credit card debt or settle up personal loans you take from friends and loved ones, or being able to pay the 30% in taxes that freelancers own every April.
Yeah, I would say paying your taxes is part of making ends meet, considering you have to pay your taxes. Yeah. Not paying your credit card debt, I don't know necessarily if you could consider that. I would say making ends meets, it would mean paying all of the things that you absolutely have to pay. So I think if you're just making the minimum payment on your credit cards, that's making ends meet.
Taking a full account, I have been running this channel at a loss for 7 years. And between back taxes I owe the government, a maxed out credit card.
Back taxes, he says. Back taxes. Wow, you've just not been paying your taxes for how long? How many years have you not paid your taxes?
That is in collection.
And you would think somebody like this, who talks about all of these social safety nets and stuff that we should have, which I agree. I think in the US we could have better social safety nets and that would be a good thing. But you know what that requires is people paying their taxes.
Back taxes I owe the government, a maxed out credit card that is in collections, and money I owe to a few people who've bailed me out. I have a total.
So he has back taxes that he hasn't paid. He has maxed out credit card debt and loans from friends and family. He says he's been running this at a loss for 7 years. I mean, the guy doesn't get terrible views. He's at 300,000 for a lot of these. 1.5 million, 1 million. That one's just shy of 2 million there. 62,000. That's not that. Oh, but that's his 200K sub special. Yeah, those never get views. Oh, this one right here got 4 million, 2.4 million. I mean, what are you doing? It's not that complicated. Money in, money out. They have apps that will do it for you. All you got to do is just plug in your bank information, your credit card information, that sort of stuff, and it will do the math for you.
Accumulated debt that is pushing $100,000. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect at managing money.
Really? Really? You're not perfect, really. Wow. Quite the admission.
There wasn't a life I could have been living these past 7 years where I would have earned $100,000 more than I did.
I mean, really, you expect people to believe this. There's not a life you could have lived in the last 7 years where you made $100,000 more over the course of 7 years. What about putting out more content? What if you just did a video a month or a video every 2 weeks? Just give you an idea of the type of content that is. This is the alt-right playbook. This is like his signature series.
Say, for the sake of argument, you're having a discussion with a coworker about healthcare. Actually, let's go ahead and drop the pretense. You're having a discussion about trans healthcare. He says puberty blockers should be banned because some study said they're dangerous.
There you go. Yeah, it's more edited than my videos. It's nothing crazy. There's no reason you can only put out 6 of those videos a year. There's no reason for that. I don't care how much you want to talk about, oh, the scripting, the research. No, stop. You can do more than 6 of those videos a year. And over the course of 7 years of doing that, that maybe could have gotten you your $100,000. And if not, maybe you need to look at your expenses. Maybe there's something you can do to lower your expenses a little bit. I generally I would say you want to look more at what you can do to make more money rather than making your life worse. But lots of people also spend money on things they completely don't need to be spending on. Like if this guy has ordered from DoorDash at all, this is absurd. Absolutely absurd. And when you look at what he's paying in rent, it really seems like this guy should have just moved. I'm pretty sure he says he in some comments that he's paying $3,500 a month to live in Boston when he's a YouTuber. You can work from anywhere as a YouTuber. And if if you're insistent on living in Boston, well, there should be plenty of jobs there. You can't get a part-time job. Go to the grocery store and get a job at their deli there. That's the easiest cakewalk job. You can just scoop salad all day. And most of those grocery stores, they're going to max you out at 28 hours anyway. You don't have to work that much. But they're not going to give you more than 28 hours anyway because they don't want to pay anybody health insurance there. How? How can you not do one of those two things? Move out of Boston or get a part-time job in a massive city where there's lots of jobs?
So, backers on Patreon already know about this. When I told them it was framed as, I'm gonna probably do some kind of fundraiser or do a Patreon relaunch. There's a bunch of stuff I've been doing over on Patreon that I still hadn't even announced here on YouTube yet. But I just can't take it anymore. This is just a lot of strain.
It just sounds so absurd to me. Again, look at this. 6 videos in a year. I can't take it anymore. I'm just so exhausted of this endless, tiring grind.
To put on me and to put on my family. And I've felt for a long time that I'm on the verge of, kind of making it. I've been.
The first time I watched this and he said he's on the verge, I was like, oh no, oh geez. Is this about to get really dark? But no, he says he's on the verge of making it.
Of, kind of making it. I've been dancing around the periphery for a while, back in 2020, right before COVID happened, the numbers were really doing good. The Patreon was really solid. I was making more money than I'd ever made. And it really seemed like it was going to keep heading that way. And then they just started to dip. And it's never really recovered. Once I hurt my back and I couldn't work for a while. And life just got more expensive.
Hurt his back? Wait, you can't do your YouTube job with your back hurt? Even if you have to lay down, bring the laptop into your bed. You really, you can't do your YouTube job with an injured back? I mean, maybe this guy was fully paralyzed because of his back injury, in which case, okay, I'm just a dick then. I'm not really any way around it, but I really don't think that's the case. I don't think the guy was temporarily paralyzed.
I've just it's really seemed like, especially with joining Nebula and everything, it keeps feeling like if I could just hang on a little longer, I get it cracked. And I'd become one of those like fully self-sustained people, and maybe I would, maybe if I could hold on a little longer, I would, but I can't keep struggling.
I truly do not understand how people can watch this, look at his channel that up until this video had put out 5 videos in the last year, and be like, this poor man. I feel the need to fund him. I really need to help this guy out. Because they helped him in droves. That absolutely insane. The amount of money that this guy made with this sob story.
In the meantime, so for now, we're going to call this a sabbatical. I'm not officially quitting. It's possible I will find part-time work, which means that, if it's enough hours that it brings in decent money that I could supplement Patreon and AdSense with, I could keep doing this part-time, which is, when I started out, that's what it was. It was a thing I was juggling with freelancing in school. So maybe that's an option. I have to see what's out there. But at least for the next...
It really seems like part-time work is what this guy should have been doing for the last little while anyway. I mean, why? Why do you let it get to this point where you're $100,000 in debt and you feel the need to beg people to bail you out rather than either pour yourself into YouTube and pump out more content or get a part-time job and do the YouTube thing as well? It's absolutely insane to me that you would let this build up year after year for 7 years, and rather than course correcting, rather than trying to make up for the difference between your income and your expenses, you just let it ride until the point where you're 100K in debt and you have to ask people to bail you out.
Month or so, kind of my mindset is to live my life with the question, what if I wasn't a YouTuber? Like, how would I spend my time? Where would I put my energies? What would I work on if you didn't always have that gnawing feeling of like, I should be working on my video? What?
Yeah, but you know what most people have? The gnawing feeling is, wow, I hate being here 40 plus hours a week, every single week. So I don't have any sympathy that you have a gnawing feeling that you should be working on a video. And if that's such a problem, sounds like maybe that feeling was just correct. Maybe you should have been spending more time on videos.
What would my home look like? What would my social life look like? How would my free time look? Free time is a concept. We're just gonna...
Scoffing at the idea of free time. Really, you saw a clip of that video, his signature series, the alt-right playbook. He really wants us to believe that putting out 5 of those in a year eats up all of his time, so much so that he laughs at the idea of having free time.
see what that's like. So maybe part-time work, maybe the channel sticks around in some capacity, maybe I'll do something that leaves me energy on the weekends. Maybe I'll collaborate with people. But right now I'm not promising anything. I've been doing this for 11 years. And it's weird to say that it is the most financially stable I've ever been, because when I started this job, I was only a year or two off of food stamps, but it's just never made the kind of income that...
Well, Ian, if everybody paid their taxes the way you do, nobody would get food stamps. So maybe you should try to figure that out and pay it forward. Everybody pulled their money together and helped you out paying your groceries back in the day, but you don't want to contribute to that for other people.
But it's just never made the kind of income that lets you trust that you're going to be able to cover your expenses 3-4 months from now.
It's never been a thing where he's trusted his ability to pay his bills going forward. How are you not getting another job, a part-time job, or making more content then, and getting yourself a buffer where you know you're good for a year? Even if everything went to zero, all of a sudden you got banned or whatever it was, you'd be good for a year and you'd have all that time to figure out new work, new way of making money. Like, how do you live with these feelings and just not address it at all?
That you're going to be able to cover your expenses 3-4 months from now. I have no savings. There's nothing for retirement. I owe more than I make in a year. Outside of a few big names, probably almost all of your favorite YouTubers are doing worse than you think. So for the time being, I'm gonna leave the Patreon turned on at least for like a few months.
So even though I'm saying I'm taking a sabbatical and there's going to be even less content than there has been lately, I am still going to keep the Patreon going. And it's crazy. After this, his Patreon got another bump, which it was already pretty solid before this. I think it was at like 3,500, 4,000 or something like that. He's up to $6,000 a month now after this video. 3,500 plus the YouTube stuff. He was living in constant fear of his ability to pay his bills in the future. And people heard that and they're like, "Oh, let's fix that for this guy."
There's a bunch of stuff I do on Patreon that like I haven't even announced it here on YouTube. I've been doing it for like a year and change now. I do these little projects where like I have a film randomizer list. It's like a list of this year's list is like 36 movies where I hit shuffle on Letterboxd and watch whichever one comes up first and try to get through the whole list by the end of the year. And I write little reviews for them. Or I have like,
Wow, you have a project where you watch movies at random and write up a review of them. So that's what this guy's free time, he wouldn't say that's free time. That's backbreaking, stressful labor to him. But he's sitting around watching movies, wondering, why can't I pay my bills?
like a video game cabinet, just games I'm trying to get through before the end of
Okay, what is this about video
the
games?
year. And I write little reviews for them. Or I have like a video game cabinet, just games I'm trying to get through before the end of the year. I do a reading log.
So he's got a cabinet of video games he's trying to get through by the end of the year. So unironically, he's sitting around watching movies and playing video games. And I get he's saying that's for his Patreon. I mean, I would like to see the number, the viewership on these Patreon. But is that really why people subscribe to your Patreon? Because my perception is most people subscribe to a Patreon just because they want to support the guy. Maybe some YouTubers actually provide serious, significant value to signing up for their Patreon. But most of the time, I think people just think, oh, I like this guy. I'll chuck him a couple bucks a month. So maybe instead of doing these movie watching and video game playing projects, you use some of that time to put out videos that make you money. But no, he wants to sit around, watch movies, play video games, pretend that that's work, and act like it's a shock that he's not making enough money.
And I make a playlist, a 6-song playlist every month that I share with patrons. And I really enjoy doing that.
And he makes a 6-song playlist to share with the patrons. Surely, I'm sure that's what they sign up for. That's a lot of value there.
It doesn't take a ton of time and energy, so like
Really, I'm just waiting for him to say, "Oh yeah," and then I tell them what the best weed I smoked that month was too. But like seriously, sitting around watching movies, playing video games, listening to music. Instead of doing the stuff that makes him money.
I'm probably going to keep doing that. And
Yeah, I bet you will. I bet you will. Keep watching movies, playing video games, and listening to music. You seem very keen on doing that.
there's a project I do with Willow from the channel Questing Refuge. I also haven't announced this on YouTube yet. It was supposed to be part of this Patreon relaunch that I guess I'm not doing anymore. But we are doing weekly adventure game reviews. I have a list of 50 games and like a really overly complicated rating system. I'm trying to make like a 50 game adventure game tier list. And so these little 1 minute reviews that we release every Monday, and that's over on Nebula, but also patrons, like every month I do a supercut of all the ones I did that month, so like patrons get that as well. Willow and I work well together. Writing and graphics are what comes easy for me, and editing is always kind of a slog, and they're like the exact opposite. Like editing comes really easy for them, and they always get like they have a really hard time with writing. So that project has been actually surprisingly like easy for both of us. So I'm going to see that through to the end of the year, and there'll be like a supercut of all 52 videos. Intro, 50 reviews, and conclusion that'll hit YouTube January of 2026 when that's done. So like I'm gonna see that through. Had a lot of stuff I was working on that I don't know when or if it will come out. Had this like really big thing I'd been working on for a few years about neo-noir, and
If you need money and you've already put time into these things, why would you not finish them and upload them and get the money out of them? I mean, these are the simplest concepts on earth, and he just refuses to do these things. And then flounders and wonders, why am I not making enough money to exist without being stressed about paying my bills?
I had something about Disco Elysium that was kind of becoming a manifesto on what I wanted the channel to be in 2025, having wrapped the alt-right playbook. There were
Yeah, he says there he wants to wrap up the alt-right playbook, his signature series that gets the most views. Right now? Is it not like the perfect time to double down on the alt-right playbook? Right? The stuff Trump's doing is absurd. It's great fodder for doing those sorts of videos. You could really be pumping that series out. You'd have stuff to talk about all the time. But no, nope. Now that Trump's in power again and he's going way crazier than he did the first time around, I think I can be done with that alt-right playbook. It doesn't really have a place anymore.
like there was this thing on John Wick that I wanted to get out this month before Ballerina. There's like 3 or 4 protagonies. I was just thinking about art where, following the election, I wanted to do this thing about art where the good guys lose and then life goes on, because that felt really resonant. That all this stuff. So that'll come out if it comes out. I don't know if any of that will come out.
Sounds like that's your normal approach to the YouTube channel, so not surprising.
In any form. I hate to let anything go to waste, but I don't know what to do with it. I mean, none of it's done. We'll see, is all I can say. I also intend, I've been meaning to do this for a while, but when I finished the alt-right playbook, I had like made a decision after the re-election that I just wanted to wrap it, which meant kind of jumping to the end. I had a few.
I think the implication here is he's just burnt out on it. He's not feeling it anymore. Oh, well, welcome to the real world. A lot of people have that feeling 40 plus hours a week where, man, I am so burnt out on this. I don't want to be doing this anymore. This makes me hate life. But for a YouTuber, the idea that you would have to deal with that feeling at all is intolerable.
Scripts still unproduced, and my intent is to still is, to release the unproduced scripts under Creative Commons license, and also like a graphics pack of a bunch of like, at least like the base graphics, you know, the little dupes. So anyone who wants to use the title, the Alt-Right Playbook, to produce those scripts is welcome to, provided you release under the same Creative Commons license. That's a thing I've been meaning to do for a little while. It's just been wrapped up doing other stuff. So I'll probably still do that. And I will post a GoFundMe. I was going to do like a big like fundraiser and live stream and everything to try to see if I could raise the money from the community to help pay off the debt. I'm not going to do all that now, but I will.
I thought about providing some level of value and entertainment when I tried to raise money for this, but I said screw that. All right. That's way too much work to do a live stream and provide any sort of entertainment. I'll just throw up a page on a website and tell people, oh, I'm really sad and I've been moping about watching movies, playing video games, listening to music, and apparently I can't pay my bills doing that. So please bail me out, guys.
Post a GoFundMe if anyone wants to help me pay down that debt. I mean, like, bankruptcy is not necessarily the only way of dealing with it. And when you file for bankruptcy, you have to pay some of it. And so I have to have some chunk of money. And there's also a thing called an offer in compromise, where you like basically offer them a percentage of the debt you owe and see if they'll accept it. And you have to pay that in a lump sum. I've done that with collections agents before. So if anyone wants to contribute to that, you can also still back.
So this guy has been hiding from the collection agencies, which are trying to collect on debt that he owed. And they went for so long with it being fruitless that they're like, look, we'll take a portion of it. If you could just give us something, we'll take that. Because it seems like we're not going to get anything. We've been calling for a long time and we can't get you on a payment plan. So if you just pay X percent of this, we'll call it good and we'll leave you alone. Because we're willing to take anything at this point. I mean, how how many bills and how many people has this guy not paid for what he owes?
The Patreon, even if it's just like if you just want to think of it as a thank you, and I thank you as well. You can do that. Links to both of those, I guess, will be down there. And if anyone out there would like to hire the services of Ian from Innuendo Studios, and you're offering something that at least has health insurance, I'll also put a resume and contact info in the down there part. So I don't think I'm disappearing. Whatever I'm doing, I'm always going to be making stuff, and this is where I have a particular audience, and so if anything I make is video, it will end up here, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Depending on what my earnings are, I might just turn off ads. I hate watching videos with ads, so if this isn't my income anymore, I might just go ahead and turn those off. I mean, if I'm not posting videos anymore, it doesn't end up being very much anyway.
Is that not how you've been making your living lately? Why would you say, hey, I'm going to try to make my living on YouTube for 7 years, if you're like, yeah, I could just turn that off. It barely makes anything anyway.
But if I'm
Like, I would think it's a pretty decent amount if you thought you could make your living doing that for 7 years, even if it was stressful and you were worried about paying your bills in a couple of months.
doesn't end up being very much anyway. But if I'm able to do this part-time, then maybe not. Maybe I'll keep that on because it'll actually be a source of income. I don't. Right now, I'm just not promising anything specific. Thank you all for 11 years of Innuendo Studios. even if the financial precarity, like my official position right now, is that it's not worth it anymore. For those 11 years, it really was. And I don't know what's out there. I'm probably calling a temp agency on Monday. Good God. You know what it's like to have a
God, the bare minimum of looking for a job, the horror. I just cannot figure out how people saw this and felt bad for him and wanted to help him to the magnitude that they did.
resume that just says content creator for 11 years. What does that even qualify you for?
Yeah, you'd probably want to get a little bit more specific on it. Editing, scripting, that sort of stuff. Especially if you're collaborating with other people and doing those things specifically, like it sounded like he was with that Willow person.
But it's been an honor. And I hope we see each other again soon. Thank you.
Yeah, so there was his shot at giving the perception of sincerity, and people loved that. They really felt the need to donate to this guy and give him $155,000. The video has 168,000 views. So he basically got $1 per viewer on this video. And he has multiple people that donate $1,000+ One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 people all gave him $1,000+. And one of them gave $5,000. Don't know how you find that in your heart after watching that video to give this guy $1,000. That is absurd to me. Even if you're a regular viewer, I don't know how you see that and you chuck him $10. I mean, that was shameful. So he's updated it since and he's closed it, but this is what it initially said. Between back taxes, fees, a credit debt currently in collections, and bailout loans from loved ones, running Innuendo Studios for 11 years has put me over $87,000 in debt. I am suspending the channel and getting a day job, but would welcome anyone wanting to pitch in with the debt. Breakdown, last I got numbers. Back taxes and fees, $59,075, assuming I can correct an inaccurate audit from 2019. So potentially even more than $60,000 in back taxes. The guy made it sound like he's never made $100,000 in a single year. So, I mean, $60,000. He's not been paying his taxes for a while. Credit debt currently in collections, $18,957. Almost 20K that he's been putting on credit cards. That is crazy to me that you would let it get up to that number before you get a second job. You're going to have 20% plus interest on $20,000 rather than go scoop salads at the deli. Loans from loved ones, $9,331.25. So almost $10,000 that he's borrowed from friends and family. And that gives you the total $87,000. I'm not expecting to get all or even most of this from GoFundMe, but any help is welcome. Well, he got almost double that. So then he updates it. Okay, donations closed after an incomprehensible outpouring of support. Thank you, everyone. I am in shock. More importantly, I am about to be debt-free. I don't know what any of this means for the future of my career. My brain is not built to fathom this. I will let you know when I figure it out. Thank you so much. Well, I would hope it has something to do with making content for the people who bailed you out like this. Looks like this is a different update as well. Hey, everybody, I don't know how to write this message. What do I even say? I'll start with thank you. This is absolutely overwhelming. I am humbled. I feel like I should say, here's the plan, but I don't have one yet. It's going to take a while before I can comprehend this. I was up till 1 a.m. last night because some part of my brain said, you have to figure out what to do with all this. And I couldn't. I don't know how to work on this scale. I could only think, I guess I could get my bike tuned up. I mean, that right there shows you how he got into this situation. Oh, I have access to money? Let me spend it on tuning up my bike. I could buy blueprints without waiting for a sale. I could get some nicer pants. So, nothing about investing in his future there. For now, I'm going to just try and breathe easy for a bit. I'm closing donations. I thought I should announce I'm closing donations a few hours before I do so people can hop on if they want. Oh my goodness. I thought I might want to just say, "Hey guys, last few minutes to give me any more money if you really want to." Even though I got more than I said I needed. You can still give me more. You can still give me more before I close it. Why? I'm already so far over target, I don't know what to do with it. I don't need to optimize. It's more than enough already. So I'll update folks when there's something more to update about. Thank you again. Now, let's see what some of these donators have to say. You changed my life with the alt-right playbook, and I would have never been a leftist without you, merely a generic, unthinking lib. If nothing else, remember the impact to the millions of people's lives you made. The world would be significantly different without you, your voice, and your work. Thank you so much for making it. So there you can see that they want to feel like something bigger than themselves. They want to be part of a story. They want to keep this man doing important work on YouTube, making videos. You deserve this and everything else people have donated. Thank you for what you've given us. Take care of yourself. Your wisdom has given to me and to so many others through your videos, helped so much to make sense of the world, its history, and what we must do. I can't thank you enough. Take care, man. As a fellow creator and small business owner, please use this amazing second chance to engage the services of a financial planner specializing in artists and small businesses. Yes, it really this is one of the most reasonable comments I've seen. Definitely should be doing the financial planner thing. There's just too much specialized knowledge for one person to manage and do their usual work. It has made a huge difference for my stress levels and budget. Ian, just wanted to say I have always loved your work, and I feel so sad about your situation. I feel I've taken from you without ever giving anything back. Look after yourself first. I hope I get to hear you say for the sake of argument again, maybe someday. Well, the thing is, if you're watching his videos, he's making ad money off of you. Or if you have YouTube Premium, he's making even more money off of you. It is a small amount, but hey, many smaller streams together make for a big river. Now let's try and double what you asked for. The work you do for the leftist community is worth so much more than this. Live your life and keep doing what you're doing, but don't forget to take a break whenever you need to. So, I mean, people were all about this. They completely ate it up, which truly, I don't understand how you could watch that pathetic video and think, oh yeah, I want to bail this guy out. Even though these problems are all entirely caused by him not changing course, not course correcting for years and years. Yeah, let me bail the guy out. So, what do people in the YouTube comments got to say? You're the reason I signed up for Patreon like 10 years ago. That membership isn't moving until they shut down the site. I think this is a big YouTuber here. Or maybe not big, but he's got a check mark. How big is this guy's channel here? 1.4 million subs. Looks like this guy gets pretty good views. 700K, 900K, 400K, 2 million. Oh, and look at that. He's putting out 20 plus minute videos about monthly, it looks like. Maybe a little bit less than monthly. Maybe you could learn from that guy, Ian. Seems like he's got a more reasonable approach to this. Philosophy tube here. Oh, here, I didn't realize I had this messed up. Now you can see it all. Philosophy tube. Absolutely no shame in struggling, Ian. You're a brilliant mind and a sharp writer. I know you'll find a way to get back on your feet, and we'll all help. Well, he's definitely back on his feet. I think Philosophy Tube has like millions of subscribers. Let's see. Oh, not millions, but they have 1.64 million subs. And 600,000, 900,000, 90,000, 800,000. I mean, even this person too. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 videos in the last year. I mean, they're kind of blowing Ian out of the water with that. The fact that your GoFundMe is already well over 100K, only about 13 hours after the video is up, is living testament to the fact that your audience really values not only your content, but the human behind it. Big Joel. Ian, I'm so sorry. Your work has always been wonderful, and I truly hope for the best for you. What's Joel got? I think he's a million plus, right? Close to it at least. 758K. What kind of upload schedule this guy got? 300K, 1.3 million, 600K, 1 million. Okay. Oh, geez. How is he not in the million subs yet? His videos do very well. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 5 videos. So this guy, he's on the Ian strategy, and it's working for him. I guess you got to get those type of views if you want to survive on 6 videos a year. But I think he has a second channel where he does more videos as well. 3 arrows, sending all the love your way, Ian. You're going to get through this and come out stronger. Your work helped me to get out of the alt-right pipeline when I was a frustrated teenage boy. Now I'm openly non-binary and feeling much healthier. I cannot thank you enough for your services, and I hope things get better for you. This is what I'm saying. These people, they really think he's doing important work, and they want to contribute to his story of keeping him on YouTube. I can't get past it. It's completely ridiculous. Let's check out his resume, see what that looks like. Profile. Producer with 20 years experience dating back to my first gig editing DVD bonus features for a post-feminist documentary on Barbie. Proficient in Adobe Premiere, Adobe Animate, Final Cut Pro, Audacity, OBS, Google Services, WordPress, and I could probably kludge some HTML if you told me I had to. Fierce commitment to a social justice with politics as left as situations will allow. Flexible, improvisational, good with creative solutions and constructive feedback, deep knowledge and deeper curiosity about education, art, and grassroots organizing. Great with words, works well to deadlines. If that's the case, you should have set more deadlines for yourself, right? Respectful to coworkers and comrades, speaks a little Spanish, has been first aid and CPR certified in the past, willing to renew it if useful. So he's not even currently CPR certified. Always happy to be a part of a team. I mean, that reminds me, in my health class in high school, we had to do the CPR training and get CPR certified, and I did that and passed. And then I never was able to get it renewed because they spelled my name wrong on the form, so I would have had to take the test wrong, or test again. And I was like, well, that's not worth it. Work history, content creator, Innuendo Studios, 2014 to current. Created a YouTube channel and took it from hobby to side hustle to full-time job. Save for the occasional collaboration, served as sole editor, illustrator, animator, writer, and performer for a video series on art, social justice, and popular culture from a progressive lens. Innuendo Studio has been cited in Forbes, Sight and Sound, and PBS, is the subject of a short Swedish documentary, and has been nominated for the NYVGCC Award for Journalism. As it stands, the channel has over 500,000 subs, 50 million lifetime views, and has generated over 750 million impressions. Additionally, used the Innuendo Studios moniker for contract work, including writing and animating a PSA on voting reform for California Approves, consulting on narrative design for Pixel Spill Games, writing an afterword on art and fascism for Lost and Cult, editing video for Truly Social, and editing audio for the Future of Money podcast, among many other gigs and fiats. Lead companion. Is this Crocheted Mountain Foundation? Served as an on-site caretaker for an elderly man with severe autism, cooked his meals, provided enrichment activities and entertainment, washed his clothes, assisted with bathing and hygiene, and served as a liaison between Crochet Mountain and his legal guardians. Okay, so he was like doing assisted living stuff, changing diapers. All right. I don't know if that's gonna, if he's looking for the type of job that would help with, but after school educator, various 2009 to 2011, programmed curriculum for students grades K through 5, first during a year of service with AmeriCorps, then 2 semesters running a self-designed program with the Boys and Girls Club of Providence, and finally as an in-home tutor with Club Z, worked exclusively with low-income children and families with training in play-based learning from the Providence Children's Museum. Education, Massachusetts College of Art and Design, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Interrelated Media. Okay. I mean, I think he could get some editing work or something like that with that probably. Seems decent enough. So another lefty YouTuber guy, he saw this and he felt pretty strongly. He titled his video response here, "If Breadtube is just giving away money, I'll have some." I thought this was pretty entertaining, so I'll throw this in here at the end.
Hello there. If you follow my videos, you probably already know that yesterday I did a spiel about how Ian Danskin of Innuendo Studios recently took to YouTube to moan about how he got himself in deep debt by doing an hour of content a year and not paying his taxes. And now,
Was it actually an hour? Let's see. I'm not gonna count this one. You got 8 plus 13, 21, 23, 29. Would be 38, 48. Yeah, 48 minutes. I'll round that up to 50 for all the extra seconds. Yeah, he did 50 minutes of content in the last year.
he's been bailed out bigly thanks to his Breadtube buddies treating this like a sob story and not the actions of an idiot getting what's coming to him. I don't think so.
And it's accurate about his Breadtube buddies. A lot of those comments that I read from you, people like Philosophy Tube, Big Joel, Three Arrows, they're all lefty political content YouTubers, and they're like, this is so messed up that this guy who uploads 5 videos a year isn't able to make a living. I cannot abide by this because that's what I aspired to do. So if he's not able to do this, we need to fix that. So when my time comes, when my run of uploading less than 10 videos a year comes to an end, people will bail me out.
Someone in his position deserves the now 150,000 story and not the actions of an idiot getting what's coming to him. I don't think someone in his position deserves the now 150,000 US dollars and counting he's getting, but hey, if this is the game, I'll play it too. I've also just made a GoFundMe page, which I'll link to at the top of the description. Over there, I've described how I paid my own way for all my education, I work a real full-time job and for less than the median wage, and have still found plenty of time to do literally 100 times more scripted YouTube content than he has the past 4 years. In fact, I live in a 100 square foot rebuilt farmhouse because I sure as hell couldn't afford an upmarket suburban apartment like he does.
So he's saying that I thought this was a shed that he filmed his videos in, but it sounds like this might be where he lives, is in this room. That's a updated farmhouse.
He has the past 4 years. In fact, I live in a 100 square foot rebuilt farmhouse because I sure as hell couldn't afford an upmarket suburban apartment like he does. And I've been an actual real-life lefty organizer for about a decade now, not just a liberal internet dilettante either. So if Ian Danskin meets the threshold for deserving some public assistance,
Yeah, and that right there, if you believe in this lefty stuff and you think that's important to spread the lefterly type views, what this guy does is actually important. He does organizing. So he gets people to sign petitions so laws get passed and show up to protest. So I don't know exactly what kind of organizing he does, but that seems like it would have a lot more real world impact than making YouTube videos.
so if Ian Danskin meets the threshold for deserving some public assistance, then frankly I do too. I'm asking for no more than $5,000 Australian to help me move somewhere unambiguously fit for human habitation in a less rural location where I could actually find another, more remunerating job more in line with my skills and qualifications. I want to see all the anxious libs who defend Danskin and his ilk put their money where their mouths are. Come help someone with significantly less, who sure as hell works a lot harder in every possible respect, and who hasn't already blown away a good thing and just wants to beg for more to waste. Again, my GoFundMe is linked at the top of the description. All the details are over there. And now, I'll explicitly ask anyone who's ever covered my stuff before to give this video some visibility. You know who you are, please help me get the word out. If you've got a favorite reaction streamer, please ask them to watch this. If you're on social media, spread.
Well, car posting, I'm my favorite reaction. I guess I'm not a streamer, but reaction YouTuber. So I got you. I'll watch your video.
Please ask them to watch this. If you're on social media, spread the word. Spam this video everywhere if you want. And if you're one of the dozen or so guys who comes to every one of my videos to comment, sneed, or you're running that Kiwi Farms thread about me where you can't decide if I'm cool or not, here's a job for you. I want this video.
I'm pretty sure Null, who does the Mad at the Internet podcast and runs Kiwi Farms, I'm pretty sure I've seen him react to some of these guys' videos, and that does seem to be what the Kiwi Farms people think. They're like, well, he might be a little bit based. Obviously, for the most part, they don't agree with his overall politics, but he does stuff like this where he's calling out the left. So they're like, okay, maybe he's not that bad. But it's pretty entertaining. A lot of the videos that he does, they're pretty short too. The reason that the Kiwi Farms people got into them, though, I mean, obviously it's mostly just because of Null, but he does these videos about dog whistles 101, and I didn't even know what dog whistle 101 octopuses. I've never heard of that. Tiki torches. That, I mean, I could maybe that one I could see how that would be a dog whistle or whatever, some sort of making fun of like some island people or something maybe. Good boy points. Boulder. Okay, what is Boulder? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't watched really any of those. I've seen other people react to those videos.
Video on Joshua Moon's weekly show. Hop to it. And if I'm cool or not, here's a job for you. I want this video on Joshua Moon's weekly show. Hop to it. And
Joshua Moon is Null, the Kiwi Farms Mad at the Internet guy. So it would be pretty funny if he did actually watch this, because it's only 3 minutes. He can afford to put the time into that. Plus, I'm pretty sure Null would hate Innuendo Studios, so it would be a perfect add-on if he did a segment for about that.
on GoFundMe, when you donate, you can leave a little comment on the page for everyone else to see. If you do decide to throw a dollar my way, please leave a comment saying what your political label is, just in a word or two. I just want to see something. I just want to know who is helpful. Thanks, and stay safe out there.
There you go. Short and sweet. What are people saying about this one here? Card is so fascinating, bro. I've never seen an Omega lefty be this cool before, aside from all the previous times people got carded, of course. The Sneed video alone was worth 50K if you think about it logically. My fellow Sneeders, please help this hero. I think begging for money on GoFundMe might be a dog whistle. All right, let's see, how is this GoFundMe doing? $560. No, not bad at all. And when did this video come out? I think it was today, right? 18 hours ago now. Yeah, he might make that goal. That would be cool to see. So then I just want to show a couple. Oh shoot, I don't have the folder open. I have some comments from Innuendo Studios about his predicament and why he's not able to make ends meet. So somebody replies to that video where he's begging for money. I mean, being in financial bind like that sucks, but man, you made a solid 3 to 4K on Patreon every month the past 4 years. Even with taxes and Patreon's cut, that leaves you with a good 2K plus another couple hundred from YouTube ads. That's not much, but that's also not poverty levels. In the future, just immediately take 30% of every single paycheck you get from Patreon and YouTube and immediately move it into a second bank account just for taxes. Crazy that somebody would have to explain this to him. I mean, could it be more obvious? Right? Like there are lots of people with jobs like this where you have to account for your taxes on your own throughout the year. Or you can be DSP. You can be DSP and not do it and then beg for your viewers to pay for your taxes. That money isn't yours, that's Uncle Sam's. Treat it like that. And don't use your credit card unless you absolutely have to. Make it a habit to settle last month's debt while planning out your monthly expenses. And I would say, yeah, somebody like this should not be using a credit card. The only people who should use credit cards are people who pay it in full every single month. Then you can actually get something out of it. You can save a little bit money, get a little bit of free money. If you don't do that, you're getting fleeced by credit card companies. Also, set up a merch store. It's beyond me why you don't have one when your little cartoons are so recognizable. But don't forget your merch sales too have the cut for Uncle Sam. You're getting bailed out by the GoFundMe, which is great, and you certainly don't deserve being in this situation to begin with. I disagree with that, but you see, this person at least is sympathetic to him. But if you don't change how you handle your finances, you'll be right back here in another 5 years. And Innuendo Studios replies that $2K a month is enough to live on. Average rent in my city was $3,500 a month. Average rent in your area is $3.5K. There are cheaper places to rent in Boston than Jamaica Plains. And Alston, the average is $2K according to Zillow. So I don't know how true this is. It sounds like he lives in Jamaica Plains, and that's one of the more expensive parts of Boston. So yeah, he definitely could move. And actually, I don't want to. I think he mentions that later. But here he says, "Stop making assumptions about my life. I am not a thought experiment. I did not move outside of Boston because I could not afford a car. So I had to stay within range of the subway. No, rent does not drop to $1,700 a month, half an hour from Jamaica Plains." Okay, so it sounds like he does live in Jamaica Plains. Okay, maybe it doesn't drop 1,700, but does it drop? Also, why do you need to live in Boston? Why do you need to live in a big city if you do YouTube stuff? I would think that's something that you want to do. You like living in a big city like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a reason why he needs to live there. But if you're not going to go the making more money route, which is what I would recommend, I think if you're at a point where you're not really making more than you're spending on expenses, necessary expenses, or just a little bit of treating yourself and enjoying life too, it's better if you can just make more money and fix your budget that way. That's what you should do rather than depriving yourself. But if you're getting to a point where you're going to be 100K in debt, like you have to make some sacrifices, but nope, he's not willing to do that. And I guess Zillow is just wrong, according to this guy. There's this a related meme. I'm a sad cuck, pay my debt. And you might think that's just name calling, but no, this guy does the polyamory stuff, and he's into all of that nonsense. 21st Century says you just need to release more videos. And Innuendo replies, "Why didn't I think of that?" I don't know. Why didn't you? Like, he says this all snarky as if he did think of it. Why did you not do it then? You just thought of it and like, nah, I'll just do a GoFundMe at the end of this and pathetically beg for money. 21st Century Rambo again replies to that. I mean, I love your vids, but 2 small vids a year isn't sustainable. I'm sorry. And some other guy jumps in. Unproductiveness. 2 small videos a year is already incredibly difficult work, especially with the amount of research and production that goes into them. To make this channel sustainable would be to melt the quality per video to mush. I mean, these are the type of people that donated. They think two small videos a year is already incredibly difficult work. No, it's not. All right. I know that his videos have more effort and editing that go into them than mine, but I could put out a video every single day of the week if I wanted to, right? I could make that work. I probably do have the time to do that without really altering my life all that much. So there's no reason that this guy wouldn't be able to put out a video a month. The only year I released fewer than 4 videos was the year I was recovering from a spine injury. So those are the years that he says fewer than 4 vids. The only year. I don't think that's true that there was only 1 year that he did that. Let me double check. But I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's the wrong one. Pretty sure that I saw 2 years where he only did 2 videos. 2 years ago, 2 years ago. There's 2. 3 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah, so there's 2 years where he only did 2 videos a year. So I don't know. I don't know about that one, man. It seems like you've done that twice, but I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and uh he was healing from his spine injury for both of those years. But then there's really no excuse why he couldn't do more videos since then. He's done recovering, according to him. Man, where do you live that 4,200 on Patreon every month isn't enough? Before I posted this vid, it was 3,600. I've been living in Boston where the average rent is 3,500. So, yeah, just reduce your expenses if you are too good to upload more videos than you do already. Where is this? Oh, yeah. And it's just, I could not afford a car. Okay, well, if a car allows you to live outside of the city and save $1,000 a month, you can't afford not to get a car. I just don't understand. But this argument here, I don't know. Maybe Innuendo Studios didn't endorse. Maybe he didn't like this take here. 2 small videos a year is already incredibly difficult work. I mean, that seems to be the attitude that this guy has based off of the video that he put out, where he's begging for money and scoffing at the idea that he has free time. It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind that people heard this and they thought, yeah, let me give that guy a bunch of money. And I'm assuming they didn't see this video. But with these, it wouldn't have made a difference. It wouldn't make a difference to these people if they saw this video before where he's talking about giving the perception of sincerity and all that sort of stuff. I don't know.
It is very real, and like,
let's watch this intro sigh here, and we can leave with that.
hey everyone.
Just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.